India's Supreme Court has ordered all coronavirus tests to be made free.
Here's a summary of the article.
Tests relating to COVID-19, whether done in approved government or private laboratories, shall be free of cost, the Supreme Court ordered on Wednesday. A bench of Justices Ashok Bhushan and S. Ravindra Bhatt held that tests relating to COVID-19 must be carried out only in NABL-accredited labs or any agencies approved by the WHO or the ICMR. The order was passed on a petition filed by advocate Shashank Deo Sudi to implement free COVID-19 testing by private labs. On April 3, the court issued notice to the government on the plea, which challenged the legality of a March 17 advisory capping the price for coronavirus testing at 4,500 rupees in private labs and hospitals. We find prima facie substance in the submission of petitioner that at this time of national calamity permitting private labs to charge 4,500 rupees for screening and confirmation test of COVID-19 may not be within means of a large part of population of this country and no person be deprived to undergo the COVID-19 test due to non-payment of capped amount of 4,500, the court observed in its order. It pointed to the government laboratories carrying out COVID-19 tests free of cost. We thus are satisfied that the petitioner has made out a case for issuing a direction to the respondents to issue necessary direction to accredited private labs to conduct free of cost COVID-19 test, it concluded. The government status report in the court had said that as many as 15,000 tests were conducted a day by 118 labs.
This post received a score of 21,000, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Apparently some cabinet ministers are arguing that making it free will disincentivize private labs to conduct large amounts of tests every day, thereby increasing strain on already unavailable testing infrastructure.
Can't the government just tender contracts to private labs? Isn't that incentive enough to get paid?
The thing is, private labs will charge more. If government pays them and they stay open, then everyone will want to get tested at private labs only. This will increase the testing costs significantly and hamper testing. Free testing by government and paid by private labs was the best way to manage load between both.
Sample collection and testing can be separate. Samples can be sent to either public or private lab depending on bandwidth. As long as the results come back in time, no one's going to specifically ask that their sample be sent to a private lab.
But the issue is of testing capacity only. If one goes to private lab for sample collection, then a lot of capacity suddenly moves off grid. We'll have samples, but we won't have the labs and staff required for testing the same.
Correct. So the issue isn't about the cost of each test. It's about scaling up testing capabilities of both private and public labs. India needs more kits for RT-PCR and antibodies to test more aggressively.
Okay, my reply should have said then issue is of testing capacity only. That is, if we ask private labs to only collect samples. The cost of each test comes up if Gov has to pay private labs. Which would mean taxpayer bearing the burden for those who can afford the testing as well. In Belgium it's free unless you insist on being tested without the doctor agreeing to it.
Same in Ireland. No idea how the Yanks are coping.
Well, I got sick, and I sat it out at home. I applied for a test but they said not at this time. Greater than not at this time lol, maybe next birthday you can get a coronavirus test if you've been a good boy, girl.
If you make it to your next birthday.
To give some context to the current testing process in India. The government has fixed the cap of COVID-19 testing at 4,500 rupees and there have been around approximately 12,000 tests per day with a plan to scale up to 75,000 to 100,000 tests in the coming weeks. A lot of government labs do free test, the above-mentioned cost is for private labs. One interesting thought is to integrate the cost of testing as a part of your insurance, thereby not being of significant cost to the patient.
All symptomatic individuals who have undertaken international travel in the last 14 days. All symptomatic contacts of laboratory-confirmed cases. Asymptomatic direct and high-risk contacts of a confirmed case should be tested once between day 5 and day 14 of coming in his/her contact. All symptomatic ILIA. Within 7 days of illness, RRT-PCR-B. After 7 days of illness, antibody test edit, formatting.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.